Raids, the final frontier of gaming. Only the most elite and no-life players can possibly hope to clear such intense content. Well, actually, that's not true at all, and I'm gonna prove it. I've assembled a team of 10 players with no experience in raids, and also happen to have real lives. Together, we shall demolish everything from the entry-level strike missions all the way through to the ultimate Guild Wars 2 encounter, Harvest Temple Challenge Mode. Welcome to the Guild Wars 2 Boot Camp. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the boot camp. It's Guild Wars 2 boot camp time. Right now, we may be noobs, complete scrubs, who have not ventured into raids, but good news. Within 6 months, hopefully, maybe, probably, we will have cleared all challenging content in the game. That's right. Up to and including Harvest Temple Challenge Mode. We will get there by learning, by improving, by feeding a whole lot, a lot of dying, and hopefully have a lot of fun along the way there as well. I'm very much looking forward to it. I really hope this works. You know, I don't know why I would even say that, but it's gonna work. I know it is, but I've got to keep the tension up, right, for the audience. You know, we've got to have a little bit of jeopardy here, because otherwise, what's the point? Right? We've got to keep it a little spicy. You know, we all know it's going to be easy as hell, but we've got to make sure that not everyone knows that. But yeah, we're going to clear it all. We're going to get all the strike missions done. Strike mission normal, strike mission challenge modes, raids, raid challenge modes, all of that. And by the end, I don't know, maybe I'll be like the, you know, the mother bird, right? Pushing you all out of the nest to take your, to take wing into the air. That's the situation here. And you'll enter Guild Wars 2 as legendary gamers, able to tackle anything. And who knows? Maybe start your own boot camps, right? That would be big. You know, it can spread. Spread like a virus. The virus of being good at the game. That's what we like to see. You know, I don't want to get into the I don't want to get into the academics immediately. I just want to kind of chill out a little bit. I want everyone to kind of get to know each other a little bit. You know, a bit of a say hello situation because, you know, look around you. Cock. Oh, I see. Andreas has made it into the squad. I was going to say, you know, I would have been quite surprised if one of you lot had just said cock randomly. That's the opener. That's how you're breaking the ice. But anyway. No, this is not a stalling situation. Look, listen. Listen up, everyone. This team is going to be playing with each other, collaborating, blasting for a prolonged period of time. You know, everyone must join together. We must form a social bond. We must have social cohesion. Otherwise, all will be lost, my friends. All will be lost. I'm definitely lost. Wait, where are you? Oh, you're over there. I mean, that's fine. We're just to the east. Join us. Join us. If you look on the mini-map, we're the purple thing, right? I'm the purple tag. You're on the yellow tag right now, which is kind of the same thing, except not. I'm dead. This will probably happen a lot. Well, I mean, that is to be expected, actually, so I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh. Oops.
Yo. No, please do, actually. Please speak. I like that, though. What happened?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
My name is Red.
Yeah.
I got hit. It hurt.
Yeah. Hello, Red. And I believe,
hello,
you know
I'm
what's
the Blade
big?
Storm.
Yeah, you know what's big about this? I believe you are our newest gamer in the boot camp overall.
Yes, I have $100.
100 hours in the game. Let's go. And you picked Blade Sword. That's big. I like that. Funny enough, let me tell you a little secret. Almost everyone here actually said they'd be willing to play everything, which is pretty funny, by the way. So that didn't really help that much. But yeah, almost everyone said, you know what? I'll play any role. I'll play offensive support, defensive support, or of course, the Leech, also known as the damage role as well. So, you know, we really have a good mixture there. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, I have a preference what not to play.
Okay, oh yeah, what's the preference of what not to play?
DPS.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, you want to be a mechanical lord. That's good stuff. Okay, well, that's, there's some progress there. I'm pure DPS. I like that. That's what I'm talking about. That's huge. Yeah. Main hand kiter. Yeah. That is a Giga Chad move, yeah. Like saying I refuse to play DPS, that is Giga Chad. I will only do something useful. Feels good, man. I am, of course, joking. Don't worry, DPS players are indeed highly useful. We need to have some of them around at least. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to kill anything very quickly, which is pretty good. I have a Soul Beast. Very nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Today, we're going to be a little bit chill. We're going to be a bit of a talking session, bit of an introductory session, rather than too much gaming. Probably some open world. Could do some of the, the chill strike missions as well. That could also be a possibility. Some of the Ice Brood Saga ones that are really not so bad. But we'll see. We'll see if the fancy arises, if if it takes us to that type of content. But that's kind of where we're at right now. So definitely start thinking about that, and then we will commence. We will commence indeed. We're going to be talking about some of the most important skills that you can have in Guild Wars 2. We're really going to build this from the ground up. And in fact, a lot of the game mechanics stuff that we're going to talk about today, it's going to be pretty broad. It's going to be quite general. However, they are going to be things that we are going to be focusing on and improving throughout this entire journey. And, we kind of... I feel like I'm doing some actually, insane... trolling here almost, because we'll get into this very soon. But the skills that we will practice today are some of the skills that are the most important, but the most poorly executed by the vast majority of the Guild Wars 2 community. If you can master some of the things we talk about today, then congratulations. You can probably do just about everything in Guild Wars 2, right? It's going to be good. It's going to be great. Some people are kind of guessing what I'm talking about. You know what? You're actually you're pretty good on that. I'm not gonna lie. Some good guesses here. But it's gonna be great. Let's see. Who will be top DPS? That's the question. Who will make it? Cries in Celestial. I mean, yeah, I think... what's actually quite interesting here is that I think quite a lot of gamers actually are playing support builds here, which actually does make me... that does please me, right? That's what we like to see. Can see by the DPS, I mean, I'm playing a Quickness Herald here. Very good build, very good build. Definitely, some of you gamers will be playing this build. It is pretty god mode, right? One of the best builds in the game, in fact. So definitely prepare, be prepared to enjoy this build. I think we have a Power Alacrity Mechanist as well. Yes, very good. That's why I suck. Well, actually, we can use this opportunity to actually point something out. Like, you want to know something fun, Chronomancer Gamer? You are currently standing at, at like 700 units out. What does this mean? It means you are not getting any boons or any support from the team. This is absolutely obliterating your potential damage output and rendering you far less effective than you otherwise would be. This is definitely one of the kind of the core mechanics we'll talk about here. But the way the Guild Wars 2 combat system works, we will be standing on top of each other a whole lot because it turns out that boons are incredibly good and you want to have boons all the time. And it also makes things like revival and so on significantly easier. So one of the real key kind of Guild Wars 2 combat mechanics is going to be stacking and basically moving as a unit, staying together as a group. Is one of the real core baseline skills that you have to master. And that's true in all game modes, by the way, is being able to be coordinated and kind of understand what your allies are doing, how to interact with your allies in terms of support to, enhance their damage, enhance your damage, get healed, heal your allies, all this kind of stuff. This is the thing. Of course, this happened a lot during the release of End of Dragons. One of the key things that the community had a lot of difficulty, seriously, this is like most of the community had problems with this, was understanding how boons work, right? The way subgroups work right now. Like, for example, in the squad, what you'll notice is that we have two little mini groups, right? We have one, we have this squad entity, this squad concept, but within it, we've divided it into two. And the reason for that is because our boons get applied to 5 targets almost exclusively, right? Almost all of our abilities apply to 5 targets, right? That applies to our healing, that applies to boons, right? All that kind of good stuff. And as a result of that, we want to make sure that everyone kind of gets a good share of that. So we make sure that we have a quickness provider in each subgroup. We make sure that we have a healer in each subgroup, particularly for instance content, so that our allies can be sustained. And we also just have that good damage output. Like, this is the real bread and butter of Guild Wars 2. And I think it's pretty important to understand what's going on there. And what's going on here is pretty much boons. You know, I need to do a little mini video on this at some point. But you know what? You know what a fun fact is? Let me tell you a fun fact. If you go to a DPS golem and you auto attack on Vindicator with Greatsword, you'll do about 5.7k DPS. Wow, that's a big number, right? But you know what's something fun? If you do the exact same thing, but you have 25 might, quickness, and fury, you will do 17,500 DPS. So that should give you some perspective on just how unbelievably good boons are. Boons will actually triple your effectiveness quite a lot of the time. And of course, that's only in terms of damage output, right? That's let alone the defensive capabilities, right? Because of course, we also have very powerful effects like protection and stability that obviously massively reduce the incoming damage that we're going to end up taking, right? Which is also like incredibly beneficial for us as a squad. It's pretty good stuff. 5k to 17k, oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's real strong. You know, in general, boons are going to be improving your output again by, you know, kind of 2 times to 3 times in terms of effectiveness. And of course, that's not even including alacrity, right? Because here's another thing, right? Think about what alacrity actually does, and a bit of a mishmash tutorial of things to talk about here, but just if you think about what boons do, they're pretty outrageous. If you look at alacrity, it says, okay, you basically get 20% cooldown reduction. That's 20, for a start, that's 20% more boon output, right, for all of your supports. That's 20% more usage of your healing abilities, you know, because your healer gets cooldown reduction, so they can heal more. That means you can use your defensives, maybe your own heal skill, maybe you've got an invulnerability or a block, 20% more. That's insane, right? It's absolutely incredible that you're able to do that. It just greatly enhances your squad. And this is the absolute backbone of Guild Wars 2 group play. This is why I'll often say on stream stuff like offensive supports are the king of Guild Wars 2 PvE content, the true God Emperor, because you do a whole bunch of damage and you also apply boons, which massively enhance your allies. And, you know, you can think about this from another angle as well. Think about a build like Quickness Herald, the build I'm playing right now. When you play it vaguely correctly, you can be getting, you know, you can be getting 30,000 DPS. You can be pushing 30k DPS on a setup like this. But you're also giving 5 allies quickness, which improves their damage massively, right? Because all of their actions are 50% faster, right? So that's obviously a huge DPS increase. You're also applying Fury to 5 people, which is, again, a very large DPS increase because you give them 25% extra critical strike chance. If you were to add up how much damage this build actually contributes to the squad, you're probably looking at something pretty ridiculous, something along the lines of like 60,000 DPS, maybe even more than that. It probably is a bit more than that, actually. So imagine a build in Guild Wars 2 that does like 70k DPS. Congratulations, that's Quickness Herald, right? Like, this is the power of boons, right? This is the power of these supportive effects, right? So this is a really key insight into how the Guild Wars 2 combat system actually works. So I think it's time to go ahead and move to the next. We might as well go to the next map. Let us do, I don't know, is there anything exciting right now, actually? Maybe there's a more exciting event. Like, New Kaineng is so low energy. I don't like that one that much. Oh no, what a disaster. I mean, I guess it'll do. I guess it's pretty acceptable. And I think not everyone has all the waypoints unlocked, so we actually might want to stick together on this a bit. That's fine though. That's fine. Yes, let's go. I have nothing in Canada. That's all right. That's good. In fact, let's go to the next map together then. Let's go. Ah, yeah, Forge with Fire is pretty good actually, but I think we'll just stick to Canada here when we talk about this. We'll do a full set of Cantha events. I think that will be fun because it's a good classic train situation here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And yes, I will save the VODs for these because something that's actually very interesting about this group, and this is actually one of the reasons why I'm so excited for this actually for boot camp, is because not everyone can be a total sweaty degenerate like me. I'm pretty sure, we'll obviously verify this down the line. I'm pretty sure that most of the people in boot camp are actually real human beings, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. And that means they've got real lives. So not everyone's going to be able to show up every time, especially for the full duration of these kind of sessions that we're doing here. So yeah, these are going to be recorded so that some of the team members are going to be able to catch up, and also so that everyone can watch all the glorious progress. It's going to be fantastic. I will be saving a lot more VODs in general too, actually. Can everyone get in here? If not everyone can get in here, then we'll go to a different map, actually. We'll try and make sure everyone can always join in. Should be fun. Oh, yeah. Wait, Red, do you know how to get here, by the way?
Yeah, it had to download. I haven't played since the patch.
Okay, I gotcha, okay. Hell yeah. Everyone has made it. That is wonderful. We absolutely love to see it. I'm actually hoping this is going to be very, very chill. Because as I was saying, before I immediately got sidetracked by myself, people here are real people. And one of my really big goals with this is to show that if you have a busy life, if you have, a job, for example, something not a lot of people on the internet can relate to, if you have a job, if you have a family, if you have a real life, you can still be incredibly effective. And I genuinely believe we can. I 100% believe that this squad, with the right mindset, with preparation, with dedication, and determination, I guess. I don't know, some Undertale stuff there. I think we can 100% do this. I think we will be able to conquer all of the content without having to go no life, without having to go, full unhinged on grinding, right? Going like 10 hours a day, and hopefully in a very, in a very relaxed setting, actually, where we don't really have to stress out too much about the game. We can play the game in our own time. We can play the game in the way that we want to, in a way that is very comfortable and enjoyable and very cozy. And also, just as a bit of a clarification, I will not be playing in most of the squads. I will actually be leading over Discord. So basically, one of you lot will stream on Discord, basically, and I will raid lead through that.
Hello, good evening.
Hello!
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening indeed. Welcome, friends.
To help sell teapots, this is not an elite squad comment. My application basically was saying, I'm a dad of a 1-year-old who has a full-time job.
Boom.
I have 6 hours to play. Help me get pro.
There it is. See? And that's a good application right there. That was big. Oh, wait,
Knowledge.
we actually failed this event. That's actually so unbelievably tragic. Are you kidding me? Oh, no. Well, I guess this is, to be fair, this is probably our fault for not having a public tag. We were the only people on this map. And no one did the south one. Well, GG. I mean, I guess that's it. I guess it's time to give up, huh? We have failed. I told you we're noobs. Yeah, exactly. And look, if anything is going to prove that we're not elite, I guess that's it. Seeing as we just got absolutely obliterated by New Kainet. Well, that's just unfortunate. That's a little bit tragic right there. Let's go do the jumping puzzle. That's what we should do. Let's go. Follow me, friends. Did someone already leave? Yes, all of us. We've disbanded. I guess I shouldn't go on the sky scale. Yeah. I shouldn't go on the sky scale because not everyone is gonna have that. Oh, we could use the siege turtle. Oh, let's go. We can taxi people. I'm gonna get on the turtle. Boom. Here we go. Get on here, Red. Let's go. Yes. Let's go. I think everyone else probably has some gliding and stuff. Onwards. Hell yeah. So this might seem incredibly random, but actually it is not. As we'll get into in kind of lesson 1, which will be coming soon. I almost want to kind of wait until we get to Dragon's End for lesson 1, actually. Or actually, no, I'll start the lesson in Ekavold, and we will kind of practice it when we get to Dragon's End, I think. But movement in this game is very, very important. In fact, I would go as far to say that the #1 skill in Guild Wars 2 is actually piloting your character. Like, that is the thing that, in general, most people have difficulty with. It's actually controlling your character. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but if you think about it, it makes sense. Because what is actually going on here? I mean, this is, for example, this is me miserably failing to pilot this turtle. But what is actually going on here? Like when you're playing a video game, ultimately you're kind of piloting a character using a keyboard and a mouse, or I guess some other kind of control input if you have that kind of going for you. But yeah, so if you think about it, getting good at that, getting good at controlling your character using your mouse and keyboard, kind of makes sense. That would be pretty good, right? That would be a pretty important part of playing Guild Wars 2 effectively. And of course it absolutely is. And something that we will definitely be talking about is getting our kind of basic settings sorted out, right? We'll probably do that at some point. I need to actually note down all of the important ones, because you know what, don't you just love Guild Wars 2, guys? Don't you just love the fact that there are some settings in the game that massively change your experience within the game and massively change how the game actually plays out? Yeah, and I love that. I think that's great. That's just terrific that that's the case. So we're going to talk about that at some point. We won't worry about that for now. Okay, I don't want day 1 of boot camp to be clicking little checkboxes. I can't imagine anything more depressing than that. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later at some point. It's going to be good. But movement, very important. This is it's a mediocre jumping puzzle, right? Like it's all right. This guy's invulnerable. What the hell? All right, okay, gamers. Oh heck, wait, no, we're missing someone.
I'm already at the puzzle.
Oh, you're already in. Okay, never mind. Right, gamers. Onwards. Lead the charge. I'm not leading. I'm not showing either way. Let's go. Because one thing that also we need to foster is the curious mind. And that is what this jumping puzzle will do. Be curious. Explore. Right? Be the person to make the jump. Be the player who jumps off and splats. Right? That is what I want you to be. Always be that player. Because it turns out that a player like that cannot be stopped. A player with a curious mind is a formidable foe. And don't feel compelled to go the same way as someone else. This is actually one of the interesting jumping puzzles. Is that, of course, there is a direction you have to go. There is an end point, obviously, right? But actually, there are a few kind of different ways you could go about doing it, right? A few different ways, some slightly different, paths that you can take it. It's pretty cool stuff. And right now, think about what's important here. Right? Think about if there's anything that your character can do that would help you. Right? So, movement is very important, right? And movement speed is really important. So, what you might want to be thinking about right now is, does my character have any way to apply swiftness to myself? Does my character have something that increases my movement speed? Maybe a teleportation skill that you could use to skip past these air things, right? You can just, teleport past it potentially, right? Something like that. Movement skill, I like that. The rifle leap, yes, very good. That's what I like to see. And this might seem almost like a little trivial or a little banal, but this is such an important skill. Guild Wars 2 is a very, very dynamic game. Whenever you're in an encounter, always kind of take a step back and look at it and go, what could I use here? What does my character have that would help me overcome this? Is there a skill, a weapon, a different trait I could take? Anything like that. What does my character do? Maybe I need to log on to a different character, right, as well. Maybe you have more than one character equipped that you might want to relog to that will help you counter a specific mechanic, right? All that kind of good stuff. And one of the skills that I think is extremely rare, actually, extremely rare, but also extremely potent, is in fact adapting to the situation. Right? I see so many players bash their head into stuff, right? And they never think to change their build, right? They don't change their strategy. They don't change their approach, right? And this is probably a mistake. I'll just, I'll tell you that one for free. Thinking about what your build does and making decisions and solving problems. Problem solving. Oh no, I fell. Problem solving and curiosity. These are the skills. These are the traits that you equip in real life for maximum effectiveness. And that actually is something that I guess is... Oh, look, there we go. The skip. The speed run. That's big. I like that. Huge. That's a Giga Chad move. I suspect you're not supposed to be down there. Oh no, where are you? Oh no, have you guys got into like the weird area? Oh, I think you have got into the weird area. Oh, yeah, hang on. I'm on my way. Wait, can we actually get out from this situation? Oh yeah, it's the weird area with the invisible wall. Yeah, I think you have actually been tricked. The game has baited you. And it has tricked you into an area that you probably thought you could go further, but actually, you cannot. Wait, can we actually get out of here? Yes, you can go this way. Yeah, you can kind of go out this way, and then use the jade thing if you have it. Oh no! Oh no! Wait, hang on. Wait, hang on. I'll portal you. Hang on. Just glide down. I will portal you up here. 1 second. Here we go. I hope this reaches. Boop. There we are. Hooray! Let's go this way instead. And that's another thing, gamers. That's another thing. Your team, your crew, your lads, you go look out for each other. We're a team. We're working together to achieve a common goal. Nothing finer than that. Nothing more noble than gaming hard together. All right. Let's finish this jumping puzzle up. And then we'll go on to the next map. And then we'll actually talk about some mechanics, right? Some like, oh wow, some button pressing. It's going to be great. All right, where are we going next? Ah, very good. Onwards. I feel like I know after we went on that tangent again, this type of thing is actually excellent practice. Like anything that practices your movement skills, your button pressing skills, is always very good.
Can we collect this mastery point here?
Wait. Oh, this one? We can. You mean the one that's directly in front of us?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the weird thing is we probably have to go back for that. The way this jumping puzzle is set up is a bit weird. It doesn't really like you going out of bounds at all, actually. So, yeah, I think, yeah, you can see there's a lot of invisible walls set up. So we might have to kind of just teleport away as opposed to kind of gliding, because you might think you can fly over there, but you would be wrong. You can't. As you can see here, there is an invisible wall. The force is preventing us from going back that way. So we can go grab that, and then we'll go to Ekavold. Hell yeah, let's go. Right, let's go to Ekavold. Let's actually go ahead and go there manually, I suppose. Because if we don't, not everyone will have it unlocked. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and do that. It is walking time. There we are. All right. Ah, another mastery point being unlocked. Very nice. Oh, let's see. Will you make it? Oh, you have made it. Well done. The leap of faith has been used. Let's go. Whoop. Oh, that doesn't have collision. It's kind of weird. How strange. I think this is not really the intended way to get this, is it? No. Don't think so, anyway. I don't think so. Yes. Yeah, you... yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not what you're supposed to do here. Yeah, I think this is a slightly better approach from the other side there, right? Makes a little bit more sense, I think. I will... Wait, do I have Portal available? I don't think I do, actually. I cannot Portal, you gamers. We can't need to move on to the next map, actually. We're a little bit late. We gotta go. Ah, yes, the Chronobard. So, yes, Chrono Portal. Go, 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 go. Quick. We need to go quick. Get the mastery point, then we're moving on. Otherwise, we will miss the event. I don't want to miss the golem. Missing the golem is a fate worse than death. Well, probably not, actually, but maybe a little bit. All right, let's go. To the next map. Charge! Onwards. Okay, good news. There actually is a tag here. And that means we will not fail, like in the last event. I do keep forgetting that sometimes you don't have a giant squad here. I think I should maybe public tag for some of these, at least. Probably for Dragon's End. We're probably going to have to, fill the squad with non-boot campers. At some point. Because, I mean, Su 1, obviously, very easy boss. Oh, yeah, make sure you join our map, by the way, right? Because we're on different maps right now. Go ahead and right-click join if you're not on the same one. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good time. In fact, it's going to be a bad time, in fact. Yeah. Very nice. Let's begin the pre-events. And actually, as we come up to this boss, I guess we've already had a few important things to go over. Some insights, I suppose, if I do say so myself. Brilliant insights here in the boot camp. We will actually start talking about one of the things that we will be spending time improving. One of the things, the key skills, in fact. I would go as far to say maybe even the key skill of the entire game. Of the ultimate skill. The skill to dethrone all the other skills. And I guess we might as well get into it right now. What am I talking about? What's the most important thing in Guild Wars 2? Well, it's probably not just one thing, but it's piloting your character, controlling your character. And I've kind of broken this down into a few kind of subcategories, I guess, to help kind of deconstruct what that actually means. Because I think one thing that I say quite often on stream, which maybe isn't the best communication, can be a little bit nebulous, is I'll say, if you want to get better at Guild Wars 2, focus on your mechanics. And well, what's mechanics? That's not very useful, right? Well, here are a few things that we can definitely talk about that I think are very fundamental. And, in fact, we will be working on this forever, right? In fact, even the best players in the game continuously strive to get better at these things. And this is going to sound simple, but trust me, they're very, very important and actually exceptionally difficult to do perfectly. So we've got an endless progression path coming here. So let's get into it. The first one, and this is a really important one, I've actually seen a lot of footage of people learning things, and in my opinion, this is actually one of the things that players really, really have difficulty with, and so I think it's really important to point this out so that players can improve on this. You need to know all of your keybinds and what all of your skills do without looking at them. Okay? So obviously you're going to be glancing down at them to see your cooldowns, right? Maybe, what exactly when you can use a skill and so on. But you need to be able to dedicate almost all of your attention to what's actually happening, right? So right now, we need to be looking at this absolute explosion of effects that is happening on this speaker ritualist, right? And obviously there'll be more important things to be looking at later on, but you get the idea. This is so important. Why do people die to raid bosses, even though there's like a 3-second telegraph sometimes? It's because they're looking at the skills. They're focusing on their rotation, and they're looking at their skill bar. They aren't looking up at the middle of the screen here. And this, of course, is kind of because the Guild Wars 2 UI isn't customizable. You can't move your skills up, right? But this is why this is such an important skill. You need to be able to look at what's going on. What is the boss doing? Maybe in PvP, what's my opponent doing, right? In this team fight, what's happening? What is there an ad coming in? Is there something happening in my peripheral vision? Being aware of what's actually happening in the game, this is one of the most important and impactful skills. As I said, the things that we're going to be talking about now, these are the biggest predictors for success in Guild Wars 2, right? And honestly, they form the bedrock of being a good player in all aspects. If you can get good at some of these things, especially stuff like awareness, everything else will follow. So being good at PvP will naturally follow. Being good at doing DPS will naturally follow. Right? All of that is built upon this foundation. And let's continue. So we've got that one out the way. We need to be able to know what our abilities do, know our keybinds, look at the fight, and react to it instead of just feeding to it. Why do you think people die to Bone Skinner, for example? It's because they're not looking at the boss. They're looking at their skills. Why do people stand in Demos oil? They're not looking at the boss. They're looking at their skills. You must be able to play the game while doing something else. Look, this is where streaming comes in handy, right? I practice this all the time. I've got to talk constantly, and I've still got to press some buttons. And I think I vaguely do it, more or less, a little bit, kind of. But anyway, that is part 1. Part 2. And part 2... kind of is, it's kind of 3 different things and a mixture of those 3 different things. I've made it sound a lot more complicated than it is. Don't worry, all of this stuff is actually very straightforward in my opinion, but actually it's the straightforwardness that actually makes it so fundamental. So, we need to be able to do certain things. And, number 1, you probably heard me say this one before, we need to be able to use our abilities while moving. Positioning in Guild Wars 2 is paramount in every game mode. In PvE, in PvP, in World vs. World, in Open World. Where you're standing is so important. It's going to dictate how much damage you're taking. It's going to dictate if you're getting boons. It's going to dictate if you're healing. It's going to be dictating if you're able to attack the boss and maintain uptime on the boss. So being able to reposition on the fly while using our skills, this is a massive one. And before we go any further, actually, I want to note that all of the things I'm going to mention here, these are trainable all the time, right? So if you're just doing like an open world meta train, think about moving while attacking. Right? If you're, doing some world versus world, think about using your abilities while you're moving with the Zerg, right? Or while you're roaming or whatever, right? All of this stuff can be practiced all the time. Make sure you're getting better at using your keybinds. Make sure you're getting better at knowing what your abilities is so you can use them responsively, right? That's super important. Another thing, and kind of a similar vein here, you need to be able to move while pivoting the camera. You can't be aware if you can't see anything, right? You know what I mean? If you can't see what's happening, well, then you can't see what's happening. So we need to be able to move while turning the camera. And we need to be able to attack while turning the camera as well. And a little bit of fun here. Sometimes it may be necessary to be moving, attacking, and turning the camera at the same time. So basically we need to be able to mix all of these skills. Literally piloting our character. Literally controlling it. We need to get better at that actual dexterity, right? Of using our hands in real life to control everything about the game. Moving the camera, moving the character, using our abilities. This stuff, I know it sounds super basic, I know. But trust me, if you look at every single good player in Guild Wars 2, in every game mode, they will have these skills in common. They will know what their skills do. They will be able to move while doing other things very effectively, right? And they'll be very, very good at controlling their character on an actual physical level, right? This is a skill that, of course, you learn, right? There is an element of dexterity to it as well, and that kind of leads into the next point, actually. But ultimately, the way you get better at this stuff is by actively thinking about it. And actually, if you want to know something really, really fun, recording your gameplay and then watching it back is amazing for this, because whenever you watch about, and trust me, happens to everyone, by the way. This is not just if you're new. If you watch your own gameplay, you will think, oh my god, I am so slow. What am I doing? What the hell is going on here? I'm not doing anything. Oh no, I'm trash. Don't worry though, that will never stop. You'll be thinking about that when you're clearing Harvest Temple Challenge mode. You'll be thinking that when you're winning the monthly automated tournament, right? No matter what you're doing, don't worry. You'll always feel that way. That is a classic situation in Guild Wars 2, and in fact in any game actually as well, right? Like, in general, of course, exactly as you'd expect, when you're playing, you know, in the moment, right, like actually in that situation, it's fast. The game feels like lightning. And when you watch it back, you're thinking, nothing's going on. Nothing's happening, right? Like, what am I doing, past self? Don't worry, that's good. And it also means, I found that very encouraging, because it means if ever you're stuck, you can always think, oh yeah, I could have done this way better. Right? Oh yeah. You know, I could have thought about it, you know, I could have done that. You know, I need to press this button here. Like, diagnosing the problem through the post-mortem is always a good way to think about this kind of stuff. And I kind of alluded to this in the brief segment of conversation, but there is something that also is very, very important. And that is, we've got to get good at pressing buttons. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We've got to get good at pressing those buttons fast. And let me tell you a story to illustrate this. I had a guy years ago, and he asked me, I need some help with my DH rotation. I'm doing the rotation perfectly, just like Snowcrows, but I'm only getting 20k DPS. What the hell is going on? And I said, okay, awesome, yeah, we'll talk about this. We'll send me footage, and I'll take a look. And you know what? He was totally right. He did the rotation perfectly, in the exact correct order. It was flawless. It was seriously skill for skill, the SC rotation. Do you know what the problem was? There was a 1.5 second gap between each of his button presses. Seriously. And as a result of this, the output was significantly lowered, right? And the damage output simply wasn't there, right? And the same thing applies in all things, right? There is... Guild Wars 2 is a pretty fast-paced game, right? You know, Guild Wars 2 moves. You know, you are going fast when you're playing this game. Okay? Also, respawn, you lazy slackers. What are you lot doing? Get off the floor. We're not going to tolerate leeching from boot camp. Get your asses up. Let's go. Yeah. But anyway, the game is very fast-paced. And this does mean... that it is really, really good to essentially practice our actions per minute, right? We need to continuously try to be snappier with our ability usage. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a secret. I actually did this on stream a while back. I learnt Virtuoso for the first time. I'd never played the build before, ever. And my first attempt at the rotation, after kind of dissecting the build, I was just, you know, I was picking it apart, I was looking at how the skills worked, how the traits worked, how I might go about using some of those skills. And my first ever attempt of the Power Virtuoso rotation was about, I believe, 34,000 DPS. First ever try. Did I do the rotation well? Hell no. Not even close. But you know what I did do? I pressed all of my buttons as fast as I could. And here's a little bit of a secret. Look. No one wants to tell you this, but it's really, really true. If you basically press all of your good skills more or less off cooldown, that'll get you 80% of the way there on any build in the entire game. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So, if you can do that, you can actually go big. And actually, let me... I'll give you a bit of further insight on this. This is super exciting, by the way. So I learned this build on stream and I practiced the rotation, and my goal was to get to 95%, right? It was to get to 95% of the benchmark. And I got 90% first try. It actually took me a further...
Oh boy.
It took me, I believe, a further 2.5 hours to get that final 5%. Seriously. Because I needed to, at that point, when you're getting to that final, you know, the final optimization stage, that final 5%, final 10%, that is where the kind of deep understanding of what's going on comes in, right? Like, if you're just pressing buttons, you're just pumping, you're just blasting, honestly, you'll get, you know, 85, 90% of the way there. It's that final 5 to 10, that's where you want to really think about the build. That's when you really want to get in depth. And there's a time and a place for that, right? But the big skill, the big skill that we want to be looking for is getting our ability usage snappy, right? Using abilities in quick sequences, making sure that we're reacting to things quickly. And of course, combining all of those points together. Look at the boss, not your skills. Move while attacking. Move while turning the camera. Attack while turning the camera. Do all those things at the same time. And big APM. Big button mashing. If you can do all of that, and I'm not joking, seriously, I'm not joking about anyone watching this. If you can do all those things pretty well, congratulations. Welcome to the top 0.1% of Guild Wars 2 players. And I'm serious, I'm not joking. I see players who do the hardest content in the game and actually play high-level PvP who still have a little bit of difficulty with that, right? It's very common. And of course, it is an endless journey. Like, the things that I just talked about there, right? Those things, I'm still working on them. If I look at the chat, I see Grimjack. Grimjack, one of the most accomplished players in the game. He's still working on it. If I think about the team that I clear Harvest Temple challenge mode with, we're still working on it. If you think about Snowcrows, they're still working on it. You're thinking about all these guilds, the top GVG guilds, they're working on it. The big PvP guys, they're working on it. These core fundamental mechanics, it is a beautiful, endless treadmill. This is a wonderful thing about Guild Wars 2. The skill cap is almost unbound, right? No matter what challenges we encounter, we are going to be able to get better. We're going to be able to improve controlling our characters, improving our core baseline mechanics, and we're going to be able to smash stuff. We're going to be able to obliterate it by looking at these fundamental things. And we'll get into details, of course, later. For example, we're going to talk about stuff like this, about facing, right? Do you want to backpedal like this? Hell no. Look how slow this is. We want to be able to turn around immediately. Yeah, look, yeah, there we go. Yeah, the about face skill, the chronobots. That's what I'm talking about, right? This is what we want to get good at. And, you know, I think we might even try this a little bit on Dragon's End coming up now. Let's just move the entire time, basically, right? We want to really be thinking about our movement. This is why this next meta event is a great choice, a great chance to practice, by the way. And open world, it may not be Omega challenging, but it's a great place to practice your skills. There's big AoEs to move out of. Hell, look, a bunch of us died to that clap attack, right? How do you survive that? Simple. You hide behind the trash. That's movement. We can run fast to get around that. I also, here's something fun. I used my heal skill on Revenant, which means that all my damage gets turned into healing, right? On my, you know, when I take damage, I get healed. Right? So I ignored that mechanic and just tanked it because I can do that. I was thinking about my ability usage. You could think about that with, I don't know, something like Endure Pain or Defiant Stance on Warrior, right? Some kind of invulnerability that will keep you safe through that. These are all the things that you can think about with applying them to an encounter. Like, always think about that. Always be a little bit curious. Be a little bit creative. Like, oh, what could I use here? What abilities could I do? And use the open world as a vehicle for improvement. This is especially true as, of course, we aren't going to be playing with each other all the time. There's going to be, you know, breaks between these sessions and the boot camp stuff. So when you're out in the open world, or maybe you're in a pug or something like that, just doing whatever you're doing, think about these skills that we brought up here and try to improve them. Try to think, what can I do a little bit better here, right? Could I use that ability a bit better? Could I move and position more effectively? Could I be faster getting there? Can I be more aware by moving my camera while doing something else? You know, improving that multitasking. That is honestly, it's all downhill from here. I've peaked. This is the most important lesson that I can teach you. After this, all my advice, worthless. Right, well, I mean, I'm not sure about that, but yeah. This is the big one. Congratulations, we made it. Good job. Right, let's go to Dragon's End. We'll just go there manual as well. Let's go as a convoy. Onwards, friends. Here we go. Hell yeah. Oh no, someone's dead. Hang in there. I am returning. Boom. Let's go. Alright, I'm gonna make this squad public and let's do this. Onwards! I have questions. Is this downtime? I can't multitask with this. Well, I mean, this is definitely pretty chill time. Yeah, we're just doing the pre-event. What are your questions? Question me.
Well, if you insist. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Superb. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, so the question was, well, at some point earlier you were talking about learning Virtuoso in a day, and you were looking at the build and picking it apart. And I'd really like to know how to do that, because I've gone on to Hardstuck and I've grabbed a couple of builds, but I don't know what's important in the build, and I don't know. And I know there's the big wall of text below it as well, which tries to explain that. But even with that, it's difficult to pick apart which are the essential components and which aren't.
I completely agree. I actually think this is something that it's quite difficult to express in build guides. It's definitely something that I want to improve, certainly in terms of Hardstuck, of course, and even in, you know, hopefully like stream content and YouTube content. So let's talk about that. How do you go about doing that? So the first thing is what. And, you know, I think that a really good way to do this is actually by kind of having a bit of a dialogue here. What does your build do? Just describe Virtuoso to me. Like, what does your build do? What do you think it does?
Oh, sorry, I was muted
there.
Oh,
okay, yeah. Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, so I do exactly what the game taught me to do, which is press buttons and watch things die. I have no idea what kind of damage I do. I have no idea what kind of boons I apply.
Okay.
I'm really starting from scratch here.
Yeah, absolutely fine. So your build does power damage, right? It does strike damage. So you see big numbers pop up. It doesn't do condition damage. It's a strike damage build. And specifically, you're playing the Power Virtuoso build, correct? Right?
Chronomancer at the moment. I haven't touched Virtuoso.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah. So Virtuoso, let's talk about the power build for a start. It doesn't actually matter, really, because this kind of approach will work for everything. But the key with understanding like how to pick a build apart is first identifying what that build does. There are 3 broad categories in Guild Wars 2. We have our defensive support. That means it heals and applies boons. Offensive support, which means you do damage and apply boons, or other utility, all that kind of good stuff. Then you have damage dealers. They're typically focused on being given boons by other professions, other builds, while doing as much damage as they possibly can. So, and we can just kind of go through what I did with the Power Virtuoso. With Power Virtuoso, what I did was, I opened up the build, and I went through all of the traits, right? And I looked at how they all worked and interacted with each other, and then I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. Then I looked at the abilities, and I just kind of was looking at how much damage they do, pretty much, and figuring out which were the good ones to use from that. That's a bit of an art form. You kind of, you'll get a little bit of spider sense on that once you play the game a little bit. You'll kind of know, okay, this is a big number, right? This is a small number. That's something that you kind of think about there. But yeah, the big thing is identifying what does your build do? Is it applying boons? Does it do damage? Does it heal? And then going through those abilities, identifying what the abilities do, identifying use cases for those abilities, and thinking about how you might apply them to different encounters, pretty much. For example, on Virtuoso, one of the really key traits is, what is the trait called? It is a very big damage trait. Let me look up what it is called. So, it's called Phantasmal Blades. what does that trait do? Well, that trait says that whenever one of your phantasms turns into a clone, you launch an attack at the target of the phantasm, dealing very heavy damage. And you might go, okay, well, that's pretty standard. That's pretty interesting. But what's really fun is when you think about how that interacts with some of your weapons and some of your other traits. For example, in Domination, in Domination, which you might have equipped right now on your Chronomancer, in fact, you'll notice that there is a trait called Bountiful Blades. And this says, Mirror Blade bounces additional times, and Phantasmal Berserker summons an additional Berserker and deals less damage. Well, okay, what do those things mean together? Well, hang on a minute. In Virtuoso, we've got a trait that says every time our Phantasm turns into a clone, we get a big burst of damage. And now in Domination, we've got an ability that says we get an extra Phantasm spawn. Oh, hang on, I can see how it's all coming together now. So our Greatsword essentially now has this synergy built in with Virtuoso because it summons loads of extra Phantasms as well. And you might have this heal skill on your Chronomancer right now, which is the Signet of the Ether. You'll notice that, yeah, you do actually. You'll notice that that skill refreshes the cooldown on all of your Phantasm skills. Well, hang on a minute. Now, we can use that skill to reset the cooldown on all of our Phantasms on Virtuoso. That includes the Greatsword one, and that means we can unleash an insane amount of damage by not only using our highly damaging Phantasm skills, which are some of the best damage skills on Mesmer, but also we're activating this Phantasmal Blade 4 times by double casting the Berserker. And I know I kind of gave some specific examples there, but you kind of what I mean. Do you understand what I'm getting at there? You'll look at it and go like, oh, well, what does this actually do? How does this work with the build that we have there? And that's the way that you go about kind of dissecting a build. Pretty much you read it. And that probably sounds pretty intense right now. And that's because it is, right? I wish that Guild Wars 2 was... I wish that, everyone could understand everything easily and immediately. But let me tell you, this is not even a secret. I believe this is very well known. Guild Wars 2 is pretty complicated, actually, right? It's a complicated game. There's a lot going on. And part of our journey is going to be getting more adept at figuring some of the stuff out. What I said probably sounds like a lot, and that's because it is, right? Make no mistake. I didn't just pull that out my ass. The reason that I can do something like that is because, I've learned a lot about the game in my time playing the game. And, in fact, more than that, here's another bonus secret, by the way. I've played games since I'm 4. And here's something interesting, right? And there's a good YouTube video about this. How do you know that the spacebar makes you jump? Well, it's because you played other games before that, right? And this is a really important thing that gets overlooked a lot. Skills that you pick up from other games translate well. So the fact that a lot of experienced players in Guild Wars 2 can go ahead and do that is because of a slow learning process that kind of builds itself up, right? You layer your knowledge as you learn new things in every game that you end up playing, right? And this is the process towards greatness, as it were. But yeah, so when you pick that build apart, you read the traits, read the abilities, identify what the traits and abilities do, and then you identify synergies and interactions between different traits and between different abilities. And it is complicated, right? It absolutely is. And definitely ask questions about builds like, why do you take this trait, right? And again, I want to... I'll give it a really good example here, actually. I'm sure many of you know Snebzor, right? Snebzor was... is a Guild Wars 2 player who actually runs one of the largest raiding communities in the game right now. But there was a time where Sneb just grenade auto-attacked everything. Nothing else. Seriously, he was known in the NALFG as the 5k NG. Seriously, he actually had, like, a nickname with people mocking him for his putrid DPS. Because he did 5k DPS. Or, like, 10k DPS or something like that. Okay? But why? Why did that happen? Right? It's because, obviously, you know, he hadn't learned about the game yet. And how did he learn? He actually, you know, and he's told the story multiple times. He joined streamers, right? And he asked them questions, right? Like, he asked them questions. He went in streams and said, hey, why are you using that ability? Hey, why are you using that skill? Hey, why are you using that particular trait? And as a result of that, he improved rapidly to the point where the people who referred to him as the 5k NG noticed that he joined and he was top DPS. And how did he do that? He did that by asking questions and figuring stuff out. Because I think there's a really big misconception. There's a big misconception in Guild Wars 2 that you've got to figure it out all on your own. You don't, right? Because good news, people were here before you, right? We got some real greasy nerds up here in Guild Wars 2, right? We've been here for ages. And that means we can tell you how it works. And even better, we don't just tell you how it works, we can explain how it works as well. We can get into it and go, okay, well, this is the type of thing you want to look out for, right? Oh, yeah, you want to have 100% quickness uptime because quickness is really good. Ah, this is why Might is so strong. Oh, this is why Fury is so good. Oh, this is why, you know, you always want to capitalize on expertise on your gearing. Oh, yeah, this is why that certain builds and certain abilities work this way and how strong they are and the interactions between them, right? Like, learning from others and having this knowledge transference is super, super important, right? So if you're ever in doubt about something, the best thing you can do is definitely ask, right? Because that's how you learn, right? You learn by kind of having like an example to work from, right? Because once you've learned, say, one set of interactions, you can go, ah, so I know how Power Virtuoso works. Let me see if I can apply my knowledge about how this build works to another build, right? Like, maybe I can figure it out there, right? That's like a way that I can now use this knowledge to apply it elsewhere. But yeah, I don't know if that really answered the question, but I think that, I don't know, maybe that was useful. What do you tell me?
That was pretty good, yeah, no, I have to say.
Hell yeah!
I'm further along now than I was when I asked the question.
I'd like to see that. That's good. That's a good start. It absolutely is. Very good. Okay, see the orange thing? You don't want to be in that. Watch out for that one. I don't think you need me to tell you that, right? I'm pretty sure we got that one. Okay, here we go. Big damage. Destroy the boss. Nothing much happens in this first initial phase, I'm not gonna lie. You know, this is not the most riveting fight, you know, early on. Oh no, another massive thing. Don't get hit by that. Watch out for that one. Oh no. Someone got hit. That's okay. Well, many people did. So this is a fun one. All right, okay. Gamers, go in these green circles. Try to stand right in the middle here, because this is a bit of a fun mini game that actually could be good to practice. So basically, what will happen here is that, well, not everyone's going to get this. Ah, some of us did. Very good. So now what you have to do here, you have to climb up. If you use the space bar, you'll kind of do a little leap into the air as a little wisp. You need to collect these wandering memories to get all the way back up to the top. Okay? Get all the way back up to the top there, and then basically get back into your body. It's going to be good. All right, nice. Let's get back over there. Yeah. Don't get hit by the giant tidal wave. I think we got that one too, right? Oh, are you going to use anything else, Suwon? Like, the boss just doesn't really want to use any other skill than that one, apparently. Not exactly getting a high variety of abilities. Okay, see this orange thing? Don't get hit by that. The boss is basically swapping to the other side. So watch out for that. Let's go. So what will happen here is that the boss is just going to use one skill and then swap back over to the other side. Swapper. So the boss is swapping again. Don't get hit by the orange. Move out. And this is a great fight to practice your movement on, right? There's quite a lot of movement here. And what you'll notice is that, you know, there's a bunch of little mini bosses or mini enemies up there. This is a fantastic opportunity to practice attacking while moving. So whenever the boss swaps like that, always go, I'm going to attack those little enemies as I cross to the other side. Don't just do nothing. Keep attacking. Notice the hitbox has moved here, so make sure you kind of get in here and use our Defiance Bar breaking abilities to break the Defiance Bar. You see that bar? Always break it. It's very good. All right, here we go. Now we're going to the next phase. The next phase has got some mini-bosses that we've got to fight. We're mixing it up. And here's some fun movement, too. We're getting pushed out here. You'll notice that there's kind of a force pushing you outwards. So you can kind of battle against that. Use your movement here. Collect the orbs and keep attacking. So collect up all these things we've got to pick up. But just keep attacking. Keep using skills at the same time. And target the boss and mash the action key here to break the Defiance Bar. Now we've got to split up. I'm going to go east and face the giant. This is a fun one, too. Lots of dodging here. Try and dodge the giant's powerful attacks. Is Sue-Won a dragon? Yes. The giant is down. Nice. Let's go back. I'll Soul Beast again, I guess. Could be. Or the Blade Sword, maybe. We just don't know. Or maybe the Alakmex. I mean, Alakmech is beast mode on this fight. So good. It's huge. Oh, swap. Okay, so move to the other side and just keep attacking. Attack stuff. Press your buttons. Get them good. I'm rezzing these players. Get back up. Hit the boss. Oh, move out of that. Huge. The boss will swap back now. So again, practice movement. Run to the other side. Attack stuff. Use skills. Cleave things down as we move across. Let's go. Wow. We're so good at this game. We're already getting it. You love to see it. Oh, no. Oh, I got the stability in time. Yes. See that attack? That's actually a pretty interesting skill. It's somewhat uncommon. What that will do, it will actually do a percentage of your health. Right, so that ability does 75% of your health. So no matter like how much health you have, it will always do kind of like, it will set you at the same percentage. Kind of interesting. And it also knocks you back. But because of the way it does damage, it means if you're on full health, you can actually get hit by it as long as you have stability. Because it will never kill you if you have more than 75% health. Pretty interesting stuff. Yeah. Interesting stuff, I think. What's Guild Wars 2 Boot Camp? It is the ultimate journey. That's what it is. Right, if you did go in a green circle again, remember, practice your movement. Try to get back up to the top as quick as you can. Pick up the blue orbs. Hit that space bar. Also notice that the second skill you have refills all of your dodges. So it's kind of like a desperation move style thing. It's pretty big. Oh no. Oop. Get up there. Let's go. Very nice. And we'll talk about the loot a little bit. I feel like we actually might want to talk about gold a bit after this too. Because we are going to need some of that. The good news is that actually doing a lot of the content we plan on doing, like strike missions and such, actually really good for getting golden gear. So that's the good news in that regard. That's the good news.
Does it matter how many orbs I collect?
No, it doesn't. No. You just basically the way this phase operates is that, well, it very rarely succeeds in pug groups. So basically the deal is if everyone makes it back up to the top, then it skips the phase. It skips this little time gate here, basically. So it's like a time save to do that. But now you don't have to worry about that. And yeah, you can't like steal orbs from someone else, right? That would be pretty funny if you could, but that's not how it works. Okay, and back on the boss. Hide behind the things here. And then back to the boss. Let's go. Let's see what happens. And there we go. Boom. Another phase down. This is a relatively decent run. Typically, this fight will end with about 7 minutes left on the timer. We're on 20% with 10 minutes left. Now we're going to have to fight. We have this again, right? So just run around in circles, attacking things, beating stuff down. And then we have to fight 3 mini-bosses. Okay. These mini-bosses, these are actually great for practicing your dodging, which is why I think this event is so awesome, because it's a really great way to actually kind of improve at the game, while also getting some fat loot at the same time, and really powering your account, because all these bosses have loads of crowd control effects, so it's kind of super obvious when you fuck up and get hit by stuff, right? So these are really, really good. For practicing your positioning and your movement skills. You can see there's loads of AoEs, there's loads of CC skills. Also, we need to kill all these at the same time, and 2 of them are basically full health, so we need to actually slightly move around here. Yeah. Let's go. Oh, nice, we killed it. Great. We had a perfectly decent run, now we've ruined it. Okay, well, that's not. It's not actually a big deal. It basically what happens is they kind of regenerate and heal themselves a little bit. Is there any universe where we actually get away with this? Maybe we get like an insane burst somehow. But it needs to be like an insane burst. Go, 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 go. Oh, 3 seconds? No! Oh, 0? Oh, that was actually so close! That was pain. But now we have to go back. It's fine. We have 8 minutes. We're extremely unlikely to fail. That's the good news. Yeah. And there you go. The boss is basically angry in this phase and does more damage, but not gonna lie, everything was kind of one-shotting you anyway. It's not that scary. The boss is swapping. Another movement practice. Run to the other side, get out of the orange, and attack things. Let's go. And then we kill the boss. We win! Hooray! Nice! Well done, team. We did it. Victory is ours. Open all the little chests. Lovely. Lovely. Listen up, gamers. I actually will point out the value here, by the way. So what you'll notice is that you got 15 memories of Aurene. Right off the bat, that's actually 6 gold, right, for this. We just got 6 gold for free for killing this boss. And if you look at your Dragon's End Hero's Choice chest, you'll notice that you can pick an Antique Summoning Stone. You should definitely pick that. An Antique Summoning Stone is about 4 gold. Approximately right now, you have 4 gold 30. So that means the final loot for killing this boss is 10 gold just from those materials. And of course, we got a lot more. We got a bunch of champion bags. We got unidentified gear that we can then sell or even salvage or whatever. We want to do all that kind of stuff. Loads of things like random exotic drops all over the place. All that kind of good stuff. This event, it is amazing. It is very, very good at making you a rich gamer. So yeah, I'd highly recommend it. One of the next things that we'll do kind of after this one, we're going to figure out what roles everyone's going to play. Don't worry, you know, it's not going to be like a... you know, an eternal commitment of like pure infinity, right? It's gonna be like, okay, this is what we vaguely want to play. If some of us go, wow, I'm playing this and I don't like it, then yeah, we can obviously like swap things around. But we want to get a kind of vague setup with roles so we can get stuff geared.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dip now. I need to.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Eat.
Yeah, good call.
So I suppose
I'll
see you on Sunday.
And by the way, actually, I kind of want to do names here as well. You are Lagnik. Is that correct?
Yeah, in the game at the moment, I'm Bellerth. I haven't decided which character I want to go with, but yeah, that's me, Lagnik.
Yes, Lagnik. Very good. Well, I think, you know, yeah, everyone...
Whenever anyone blames lag in chat, that's it's very hurtful to me.
That's big. Yeah, that's good. Everyone has relatively easy to pronounce names. I like that. That is highly convenient, actually. Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? Right? But this is not one of those times, which is good stuff. Actually, I guess I would ask, how do I pronounce your name? Mew? Moo? How do I get you?
It used to be Mu.
Okay.
Because I used to play characters starting with MU.
Okay.
My in-game name is Vishora because that's the username I usually pick.
Okay. What would you? How would you like to be addressed?
Whatever suits your fancy. Mew works for me.
Mew? Love it. Okay, that's good for me then. There you go. Now I know everyone's name. Very good. I love to see it. Okay. Yeah, in that case, If anyone has further questions, obviously give me a prod. You can DM me. You can talk in private, right? Yeah, in-game, whatever. On stream, give me a prod. Easy peasy, no problem. And yeah, I'll get the next sign-up posted. We'll be back on Sunday. We'll probably, you know, dip our toes into some strike missions if we're going on Sunday. We'll see who's able to show up and so on. And yeah, that's basically the deal. You are officially free. Thanks for coming, everyone. I really hope you had fun, right, and had an enjoyable experience. I definitely think that went rather well, actually. I'm pretty happy with that situation. Fantastic stuff. It really is.
Thanks for having us.
But yeah, it's awesome. I've been super excited to get this project going. I hope you're as excited as I am to get stuff done. And yeah, 6 months time, hopefully. I think we can do it in less, by the way. I think we can actually clear all the content in maybe like 3 to 4, actually, if we do really well. So, you know, I'm feeling optimistic. But, you know, within 6 months, easy peasy. But anyway, I will not keep you any longer. Thank you very much. Again, give me a ping with whatever you need. We'll get roles sorted out and gear sorted out, hopefully for this weekend. And we go again. Easy peasy. But yeah, thanks, gamers. I really appreciate it. I hope you had some fun. And I'll see you next time.